Hello and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. And we've got another glorious morning here with us out by the control tower. The sun should just be peeking over the horizon there in a moment. And you might be able to see a little bit of fun stuff up there on the hill. We'll get to that in a moment. It has been a little bit since the last episode. However, I have just been very busy getting everything prepared. As well, the new update came out, so we have like official hinges now. I still have the mod installed because there are portions of my world that are still using that hinge, and I have to, I guess, convert them over. I don't really want to because I'd have to go and rebuild my entire get the old hinge here. I'd have to go and rebuild my entire spinning reactor core, and that would be super annoying. I'll eventually rebuild that, but not right away. But we do have things like the hinge and such, the actual new hinge. But what I've done is a lot of preparation work for a space elevator. In the last episode, we concepted some designs, and I have to say I spent hours and hours playing with designs, trying to figure out how they work, and just to put it simply, I suck at it. I am absolutely horrible when it comes to rotor, like wheeled elevators. I am a piston elevator guy. It's what I know, and it's what I'm good at. So I must figure out these wheeled elevators, but I'm probably just going to take somebody else's design and modify it for my uses. So as you can see here, at this junction, we've got the hangar, the solar towers, the city, and now we have this new junction off to the side. You can go through here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do in this room yet. It's a 3x3 in terms of my sort of grid spaces. Plenty of room for, I don't know, cargo, welcoming center, because going up this tunnel, eventually, when this gets all built up, I've only put the one line up it so far, some kind of elevator get up here, we are going to reach the space elevator site. And I've flattened off a portion of the mountain there, getting ready to build it up. So you'll, I guess, have a vehicle platform that's capable of getting up this entire way. You'll come out here, you'll drive up this ramp, drive up to the top of the mountain, and then there will be a nice open platform with a space elevator. But I was thinking, why am I even building a space elevator? I mean, it's not going to be very practical, just going up and down. I mean, I can just use my ships, right? So I thought, if one elevator isn't going to be enough, I should just build 4. And let me turn that on. We have our 4 times elevator. Now what I've done is, I'll show you this. I'll just flip on creative mode here for a moment, and we'll do the blueprint for this elevator. Although what I have to do is change my world. I should have to go and do that. This thing practically requires that you only have base top speed of 100 meters per second. Since I've modded it to 250, this thing will probably explode. But we're going to use the high velocity elevator, SE Toolbox Export, wherever that is from. But you know, they say that what was it? The elevator designed with design over function in mind. It's asymmetric, does not work well with carrying heavy loads. That's fine by me. It's a proof of concept and just for show. No, it isn't. We're going to make it work because I simply can't design elevator myself, and your elevator is bloody awesome. So if I plop this down in the world, we can see how this thing will function. So you can walk in with a little ramp here. A little bit of clang going on, but that's alright. walk up this. Then there's a little platform. Walk up the individual elevator. Once you stand here, a door will extend out, which gives you just enough to walk across, and then you can head on up onto the car and then trigger it to take off. And yeah, it goes pretty damn fast up this elevator shaft. So I think I'm going to build this. But then I was looking at this. I made a couple slight modifications to it in order to better suit my uses. I basically redesigned this car, reshaped it a little bit, and put some different things in it. Particularly, you'll see when we reach the top here, we're going so quickly, and this breaks so suddenly when it reaches the top, that we will go flying. Oh, we didn't go flying. Yay! Okay. Typically you do. Maybe I had my magnetic boots on or something. But yeah. We got up pretty fast, pretty high, pretty fast here. So the idea being is that elevator, which I'll just get rid of now, I'm going to build 4 of them. And they're all going to be stuck side by side right here on this platform. So you can see what I've done is I have gone into another world in creative, and I've taken that elevator and placed it down. And because it's asymmetric, essentially the elevator car is going to be right here in space, going up along sort of the outside with just a slight off countering weight, a counterweight on the other side. And there's enough room that if we put them all together, we can have this section in the center where I can have conveyors going up. I could have the conveyors going all the way up the center, and then they're connected to these 4 pillars, and it'll run 4 different cars. So I am super excited about that. But now, the big problem is we have to actually build this, which will be annoying. So, because we'll have this conveyor going through the center, I believe I can get this initial bit set up here with some manual welding. They can do the paver for the floor here, and some build and repairs. I have to run a conveyor tube up here eventually. And then from this point right here, I am going to run my inchworm type design. And that will have, I don't need to have huge building anymore. I don't need to have this huge rotating printer head. I'm not building that kind of thing. All I need to do is just make sure I have 4 arms on that thing, which then come out and cover off these 4 pillars. And then I can just have the thing inch up the center and it'll construct the 4 pillars. Nice. So I think that is going to be my plan. So let me cut away here for a moment. I'll get some more of this stuff laid out, put out some of these blocks here. We'll just turn off creative. Need to just get some things ready. I'll probably have to airlift the paver up here because there simply is not a way for the paver to drive up here just yet. I have not created the elevator to get here, but I will get things set up, and we'll be right back with some initial stuff done and getting the inchworm going up on its way. Alright, and welcome back. Instantaneous to you guys. It's been a little while for me. I went and ran a line down through the mountain using some projections and build and repairs and such. It took a while. Actually, You may think that, oh, it's just been a little bit. The sun just moved from there to there. No, it's been an entire day. I've been, yeah, working on that, getting that set up. Just doing some other stuff as well. So, back at this. The build and repairs are going crazy, and they are building up this base. And this is going to be great when they're all done and they've done their hard work. Of course, there is still more to build up here, as there is plenty of stuff. But something that I can get started on, hopefully, is how the hell am I going to get the cars onto these tracks? So, the cars that originally came with this, you probably saw them just a bit earlier when I was showing off what this thing can do. But I modified it. So if we go to the space elevator here, space elevator car that I have designed, well, taken his and then modified, and gotten rid of some of the things that he had onto it, and also just made it a little bit more sturdy, at least looking sturdy. Of course, you don't have to worry about like structural integrity in space engineers. As long as you have one connection, it'll be fine. And one issue that I found was when you make this thing really, really tall, and you get up there and you're going super fast, like you're going 50 meters a second up, and then the thing stops at the top, it kind of causes you to fly off into space, which could be fun and could be awesome, but I don't want that to occur. So one of the things I did was add a bunch of seats and things to that. But what I think I'm going to do is we're going to grab a projection and the materials I need for it, because we can just easily withdraw those. And I hope it's going to be close enough for me to get it on this first one here. If I place this right here. Boom. I'm also going to need a seat. So, God, thank you. I have connection to my base there now, and I can just grab stuff out of my control seat. Excellent. So, it goes on this going up with wheels on either side of this and wheels on either side of this way to hold it in place. There's also a little bit of gap, so this crossbar here is fine actually, and will actually be the marker for when this thing is coming back down, that it's time to slow down and brake. So this actually needs to be here, this crossbar. But what I think I might be able to do is I might be able to actually build it like on top of the thing. Like I might just be able to build it right onto it, because the wheels might not be able to be placed. But I think I can fake that. I think I can figure this out. So this will be space elevator car, and oh, come on, let me get onto it. Are going to want to go to space elevator car. I can spell correctly, and we'll add that in there. Now that does give us the car right there. We're going to need to move that before any bits of it gets built by the build and repairs. But they're busy with the... oh, come on. Why can I not spell words correctly? Elevator car. Okay, good. So we'll see if we can slide this thing out and get it over top of where it's supposed to be right away here. Yaw. And roll. Perfect. So, for this side, this is the platform that sticks out. So this actually does need to do a 180. So that's good. Then from there, we slide over to a line, and then we'll raise up a fair bit here so that we can not have to deal with this tower when we're building this, and we can just look at it by itself. We'll raise it up a good amount, and then we'll slide it back on to where it's supposed to be. So you can see that there is, it's a little hard to see, but there is a wheelbase there, and this whole thing is supposed to block in like so. So you can, there's a wheelbase on this side that is then pushing onto this side of the tower, and the wheelbase on this side is holding it against this side as well. So with that in position, what I theoretically should be able to do is run a quick line up to it, connect to it, and allow this blueprint to be printed. Then make sure the wheels are on, get all that stuff on, and then cut it off and turn this into a ship. And it should work, if I'm not mistaken. I could even do it actually from here. I could run... Oh, I could just raise this up a bit more to like there, and I can run it off the top of that conveyor out to there. That's what I can do. So let me make sure I have enough to build that conveyor. Oh. The game really doesn't like me doing this, it seems. I think building 4 space elevators might be pushing the game beyond its limits. Okay, another little freeze there. Let me save. That's one thing I've done. I've turned off autosave. So I need to make sure I save more often now, because every time a game autosaved, it was like freezing completely. I don't think you're supposed to make grids that are the size of cities. Like, that's on the same grid, that's on the same grid. We're eventually going to make this like 8 kilometers tall. I think the game doesn't like me when I do this. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. But now that we've gotten up to this point, we should be able to build... okay, that's just going to fall. A little scaffold out to it. And where would be a good place to connect up to it? Probably on one of these arms here. And should be just one more over. Good, there we go. Now we can start getting this thing positioned out. And also, if I want to, I should be able to take these build and repairs down here, and oh my god, they're making such fast work of this. I am impressed. We should be able to take these space elevator build and repairs, and let's turn on their area, and let's increase their vertical offset until, yeah, there we go. We can just barely see it. So we'll make it, say, 65. And is that covering? Yes, it is. Okay, so now they'll build on this thing up here. So eventually they'll get around to building this thing as they're working on it. Excellent. So then, space elevator build and repairs. We'll turn off that show area. But eventually, yes, they will get up here and they will put these together, and they'll put this together up here as well. So then all I need to do is do the exact same thing here with 3 more cars. So I need 3 more projectors, 3 more seats, and place them around here and then line them up and get them set up there. So let me do that quickly. We're going to grab 1, 2, 3 projectors, 1, 2, 3 seats, and we will go over to, this is areas 5 by 5. So the center is the middle of this section. So we'll just go to one of these sides off to the side here, I guess. There isn't really much room. Let me grab a few more armor blocks. Yeah. It must make a little bit of room for me to place my stuff down. God, this game, so weird sometimes. It goes from being like freezing until like, of course I'm looking into like just the dirt here, but I'm getting my 120 frames per second, and then I turn around and I get 70 frames per second. God damn game. Can you calm down, please? I'd like to make sure I have all my frames and the whole game doesn't explode. So we do that. We slap down a seat. Oh, building repairs are right here to help me. This will be space elevator car 2. And let's get that blueprint on there. Car 2. Da, 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 da. My standard setup of offsets, and then on the second thing, all of my pitches. And hopefully the build and repairs aren't building on this thing right now. Not yet, boys. I pressed spectator camera and the game started freezing. I got scared. Let's first just raise it up and out of there. Up to about the same height as this guy. And then we'll give a quick 180. That is good. And then slide it on into place. Oh yeah, baby. Boom. Another elevator car in position. And we'll align it with the other one as well here, so that we can just run the same stuff over to it. So from here, again, just coming out a little bit. And then we'll come over. And then go up to allow it to start being printed. Whoop. Freeze up. Come on, game. I know I'm doing crazy stuff. Don't die on me. I just want to build a space elevator. We're waiting for the program to respond. Come on, space engineers. You know, what might happen is the end of this season, it just becomes when the save gets too unstable to record on. And I can just be like, okay, this is the limit. This is as far as you can push space engineers. You try to build a city and build an entire underground base and 4 space elevators, and then the game dies on you. Oh, come on, please come back. I beg of you. Please. Oh, thank you, space engineers. I think I need to build a temple to Clang or something soon. I think that would probably be the best thing. It will resolve me of all my sins for building too high, digging too deep. Alright, let me go and get these other 2 set up, and I'll be back real quick. There we go. All 4 of the elevator cars have been positioned. Now, we just have to wait for build and repair to take their sweet time to actually build them up. As they are making good progress, actually. They've got a nice circle here in the center of constructed area, and they're working on the towers now, which, oh, that is going to be awesome. And oh my, I was very close to making almost a swastika with those I should change that. My little, yeah, make this a little bit more symmetrical and not so weird. But anyway. They have made a nice circular area down there of built-up zones. Okay, that looks better. So the idea being is that you will drive up here in whatever vehicle, like rent a Rover or something like that from my base, and plenty of room here to go and drive around and park and transfer materials and such. Then you will come over and walk up one of these, whichever car you want to get onto, head on in. There will be some controls here in order to bring the car back down. I'm not sure. Wait, I can't remember how this thing connects through properly, but I'll have to figure that out. Where's this? Oh, right, because this is talking to that. This is how it's being used. On this design, on this car, there is a, where is it here? Ah, right here, a remote control that controls the ascent and descent. So you can connect to it because this will have an antenna. And oh, I think I might have actually accidentally removed the antenna from this, thinking like I wouldn't need it, but I might need the antenna. I might need to put a small laser antenna or something on this with the antenna pointing straight down. I'll have to make sure that functions, but the idea being is that you would be able to walk up to this level. You could walk around, you could see whichever elevator car was here and how they were going, and then just walk on over, walk up on through here, and through here, and then when the car is in position, you would walk right into the car. So from that, walking through that doorway would be the equivalent of walking through this doorway. So you'd walk through here, you'd have the inner car, you have a few seats, and you have the controls. And I put the new sci-fi button paddle there. Up here, and then onto the cargo deck, which would be if you want to stand there and enjoy the view as you're going up or down. And also, you could land a light fighter or ship onto this. Essentially nothing bigger than what would be like my jump jack or like a light mining ship. Nothing that you would want to like have any significant amount of weight to it. This thing would not be good for, say, bringing down ships that were heavy with cargo. This would be for taking empty ships and such easily into space without having them to expend a lot of their fuel. Things like the Kopesh down there and such definitely would not be using this. This is just for essentially passengers and light ships. Possibly if I wanted to airlift a rover onto this and then strap it down so that it wouldn't go flying off and reach the top, so I could move rovers around from planet to planet, that is a possibility as well. But this just needs to build up, I believe, for a while. Yeah, so that's how that must have worked. I'm just realizing this now. The button panel needs some more materials, so you can just go grab those. Probably be the same materials as the junction. Oh, good, somebody else built it up. Yeah, it should be some way we can figure out maybe to call the remote control of the particular elevator car. Maybe some control system right here in the center to call down the different cars. But yeah, beyond that, I just need to build this thing. and I hope my game doesn't explode. It's the ultimate worry. And I'm very happy that I'm building it right here, because if you remember, I surveyed this entire area here and I based it all off of this location here. So right here is a line to gravity, which this is not that far off. So this will be very close to a line to gravity, where stuff like the city here is actually ever so slightly off skew because it's so far away from the original alignment. So this space elevator is probably a really good thing that I'm building it right up here on the top of the mountain, because it'll be quite aligned. And you can compare it to what I thought was a big design with the solar tower. Yeah, that's tiny. Like, look at it. The solar tower is like this tiny little thing, and then this 4 elevator cars will go like to space. Okay. So the next thing that I have to worry about is designing the specialized crawler that will be able to the game's freezing again. I'll let it freeze here as I talk. Designing the specialized crawler that will be able to crawl the center pillar. It should be able to get resources while doing that. It'll be able to crawl up, and as it's going up, have arms that come out to these 4 essentially railways, these 4 pillars, and build them up quickly. It should realistically only need like 2 welders, because like this is a half block, a block, and a half block. Actually, theoretically, depending on the speed of that crawler, you could just do this with a single welder just out there on a conveyor tube. And I could just build it up. Super easy. But then the other question is, how high do I want to do it? So if I go up into space here, I keep going up, I believe at some point, I think it's around like 7-ish kilometers, atmospheric thrusters become unusable, and you can't go any higher. If I am not mistaken, I believe if I put on one of my GPS points, where would be a good GPS point? Earth Lighthouse. Ah, good. So let's see what 7K looks like. So about here, atmospherics cut out. So you couldn't go any higher with atmospherics. So I want to go higher than that, right? What would 10K look like? This is 10 kilometers up. Wow, you can actually start to see sort of the atmosphere of the planet there. But if I just cheat my character up here for a moment, you can just do that. If you're in spectator camera, you can move your character around by going control space. And you can get yourself wherever your camera was. So I'm just trying to look here. So that gives me low O2 and cold. And that's 10 kilometers. Gravity is 0.74. What I'm thinking is maybe, let's see, what is 15 for gravity? 0.45. 15 kilometers. Dear God, that is long. That I would consider this be space. O2 is none. We're outside of the atmosphere. We're not outside of gravity, but we are outside of the atmosphere. If we do that, then I think if we have a tower this tall, we'll probably break the game, but we'll be able to come and go to the tower and bring down purely ion-based ships, so that we could take an ion-based ship and, using a forklift or something like that, put it onto this elevator, send the elevator up 15 kilometers, then when it arrives, take off with ions and not have to ever have hydrogen or atmospherics. And when you want to bring that ship back down, you just land it on the thing, and then you send the elevator back down. I think that's going to be the plan. Now, the question is, can I get 15 kilometers up before my game freezes and crashes completely and is unretrievable? I don't know. That'll be an issue. But then up here at 15 kilometers, I'll build a space station. And so then my space ships don't have to go all the way down to planet. They can just come down and dock at this space station. Get out of your ship, walk on over, get on an elevator, go down to the base, rent a rover, drive through the tunnel system, drive to the city, drive on back, get it back onto the elevator, come back up, get on your ship and leave. Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. Okay, that's my goal. 15 kilometers up. Eventually, we're going to have a base up here. Instead of hovering, I want to be standing on something solid that is connected to the ground. Am I actually going to be able to build my 1 kilometer cubed Borg cube before this save becomes unusable? I don't know. Oh, that is the point of this season. Mega engineering and pushing the limits of the game. Next season will be about like micro engineering and robotics and stuff like that. Alright. I think we should go free fall for a bit here. But I need to build on that space elevator. I need to get that work done, get the cars built up, make sure I can get the wheels added to them somehow, and then get them on the track. Get them going up and down, create the the cascading projections of the my brain is not functioning. Cascading projections of the center column for the conveyors and also the different rails that are going up. Get the crawler specially designed to handle those particular configuration of rails and conveyors, and then let that thing go. And probably sit my character on it and let it just chug its way up into space as a giant time lapse. So, next episode, which should come sooner because I've actually gotten this thing designed now, and full credit to SE Toolbox Export, wherever that's from, but high velocity elevator found in the workshop, I'm just using you. Full credit to that. Let's get going. Let's build this space elevator and make it functional. But that is going to be it for now. Thanks for watching. Good hunting out there, fellow space engineers.